Welcome back to Global Human Rights TV. This week we will cover news from Gaza and Russia. Malnutrition is on the rise across Gaza as access to food and water becomes increasingly difficult for the Gazan population. The vast majority of households actively limit portion sizes, and there is a growing concern regarding the insufficient nutritional value of the food consumed. A lack of safe drinking water and water for cooking and personal hygiene exacerbates the crisis, with children and pregnant women being especially vulnerable to grave damages to their health. The human right to food and the right to water entail that adequate nutrition must be available and accessible. When the right to food and water is not upheld, other human rights such as the right to life and the right to health may also be affected. To address the violation of these rights in the Gaza Strip, UNICEF, the World Food Programme, and the World Health Organization call for open, safe, and lasting access to Gaza for humanitarian assistance. Additionally, the safety of medical staff, whose work is crucial for the treatment of malnourished individuals, must be guaranteed to address this crisis. The situation is particularly dire in the north of Gaza. The World Food Programme, the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees, and the World Health Organization have halted their distribution of humanitarian aid due to unsafe conditions to carry out their tasks. The safety of the people of the north of Gaza and of the humanitarian workers is not guaranteed, which led to the halt in supplies. Moreover, the delivery of aid has decreased by around 50% all around Gaza, reports UNRWA. UNRWA Commissioner General Philippe Lazzarini commented, "Aid was supposed to increase, not decrease. The lack of political will, the regular closing of the crossing points, Rafah and Kerem Shalom, as well as insecurity due to the frequent airstrikes and expanding ground military operations, and the collapse of civil order are creating a situation in which aid cannot be delivered safely and on time. UN organizations and other humanitarian agencies are calling for safe, unimpeded, and sustained access to the Gaza Strip. To urgently deliver humanitarian assistance, an immediate ceasefire may provide the best opportunity to halt human suffering." Moving on, Oleg Orlov, one of Russia's most respected human rights activists, was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months in prison. Oleg Orlov was one of the leaders of Memorial, a Nobel Peace Prize-winning human rights organization which was shut down by the Russian government in 2021. The charges address Orlov's public critique of Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. According to the prosecution, Orlov had repeatedly discredited the Russian army in an article published by French media. Orlov denounced the charges as politically motivated. On March 4, 2022, shortly after the launch of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Russian government declared anti-war protests illegal. This includes anti-war speech, such as speaking critically of the Russian army. Ever since this law has been passed, the Russian state has used the legal system to suppress voices criticizing Russia's role in this war. Russian human rights defenders, including members of Memorial, have argued that the persecution of anti-war activists goes against the Russian constitution, which is supposed to secure freedom of speech. However, the Russian Constitutional Court has rejected such claims, backing the actions of the Russian government. Orlov's incarceration presents another blow against the right of freedom of expression in Russia. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Human Rights News Updates. For more human rights reporting and information, please go to ghrtv.org or follow us on social media.